What's up, YouTube? New knife reviewer on the block. I basically started this channel because some of my friends were noticing that I really liked knives, and I always had a different one on me, and was always buying and selling them, and mostly buying them. And they just would start having questions when they went to go buy one. Like guys at work would want to know what I'd recommend and what would be a good value for their money and everything. So one day, some guy said maybe I should make a YouTube channel and review some of my knives. So I thought that would be a fun idea. So here I go. It's first knife review time, and we've got the Sog Twitch 2. Wanted to start out this whole channel with a smaller EDC knife. That's pretty much where most of my purchases come in. They're pretty much mostly just small EDC utility knives that get used a lot. This is one of my favorite ones, Sog Twitch 2. Feels great in the hand. Ergonomics are amazing. Everything's kind of radiused. Just feels great. That pocket clip doesn't really bother me when I hold it, which a lot of knives do. Just great. Small, thin, full flat ground blade, and their modified little drop point blade like they have on their Flash series. This is part of their Twitch series. Obviously, they have a Twitch 1 smaller, this one, the Twitch 2, and then the Twitch XL, which is obviously the biggest one. This is probably my favorite one out of that whole line. I think the one's a little too small, and I think the XL, for what it is, you could probably get a better knife. Comparing this to the Flash, I love this way more than the Flash series. I had a Flash before I bought this, and I compared the two and ended up actually selling my my Flash one. It beats it in every category, I feel, except maybe the weight issue, if weight's your thing. It weighs a little bit more because it's got liners, it's got aluminum handle, but to me, when a knife weighs, this is not a heavy knife by any definition, but it's definitely not the lightest knife out there if that's what you want. One of the things that drew me to this knife is the design of its lock. I'm kind of big on random cool things, and that to me, that's what this was. Most flipper designs have either a liner lock or a frame lock kind of deal, because you can't have a flipper with a regular traditional backlog. Kind of like here's a Delica. You've got that bar in the way, and obviously you can't have a flipper there. But they designed kind of cool. I don't know if this camera's going to focus well enough. Kind of cool lock for this knife where it just kind of loops around and acts as a blade stop too, which, I mean, this thing locks up so freaking tight. And I just love that it's a lockback. A lot of guys out there are big on the lockback knives, and so here you go. Now you've got a flipper design lockback. But you can also use the thumb stud if you're used to that, and it just comes out so fast, like pretty much all SOG assisted openers do. Price wise, got this guy for about $40 at Lowe's. It's my understanding from watching some other videos on this knife back when I was looking at buying it that Lowe's had kind of a special edition deal going on where it was Zytel plastic handles instead of this aluminum handle, and it had some issues with lockup and everything. This is the aluminum handle version. Got it at Lowe's, like I said, right around the $40 mark. Did not see any Zytel handled ones there, so hopefully if they did have a lot of problems, they just kind of pulled them, and now you've got this, which just sounded like it was probably a better knife to begin with. Feels good, looks good. For your everyday tasks, opening the mail, opening some boxes, packages, even breaking down some boxes. I tore into some cardboard with it for AUS 8, which it is. It held an edge decently well. Talk about the steel for a little bit. AUS 8 is obviously kind of a lower to mid grade steel. It's really soft, but it's really easy to sharpen and get scary sharp. But it's not going to hold an edge as well as something like S30V or 154 CM or even the VG10, which is right here, is going to hold an edge. But It holds an edge well. If you have any kind of ceramic rod sharpening system, you can pretty much just run them along it whenever it starts to get dull, and it just comes back to life pretty quick without you having to get too involved in sharpening it. Pocket clip. I don't know if I mentioned this already. This is the third time I've done this video, by the way, so if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. Not their typical bayonet clip that you see from Sog, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's kind of sleek. Buries pretty deep, all things considered, compared to pretty much every knife out there that you'd look at. Just doesn't have their bayonet clip if you really like that. I like this clip just fine. I can actually grab it and pull it out of my pocket. Pretty nice. I don't live anywhere where I have to worry about people freaking out over a knife. But if you do and you have this knife, it's small enough to where, and it's just really low key. It's not all blacked out and everything. So if you're not whipping out and going crazy with it, nobody's really going to care when you pull this out. I guess we can show a size comparison here. I'm going to have to move the camera a little bit to get it all in frame. But yeah, I mean, just a little bit smaller than your Delica, which most of you guys might have out there, or at least know what size it is. So EDC, it being a little skinnier and a little shorter, might make it maybe even a better option. It's just great slicer, great for everything that you would do on an everyday basis. You're not going to go out and ever have this to defend yourself with, really. So if you're looking for anything like that, not your knife. If you're looking for something to carry, it's not going to freak people out around the office or to open packages and anything like that. This is pretty much going to be your guy. It'd be worth looking into. Love this knife. Use it a lot. Hasn't disappointed me yet. Highly, highly recommend it. On a side note, had a guy at work, pretty much the guy who actually told me to do these knife reviews, who saw this knife. He had just kind of started getting into knives. He had just asked me about a Kershaw Blackout or different Kershaw knives, and we ended up deciding that Blackout was what he was really looking for. He saw this knife when I got it, played with it. I let him carry it around for the day at work, and because we work somewhere where we have to open stuff a lot, and he fell in love with this knife. He's about to get one, and it's pretty much sparked a whole new world to him. I think he knew there were great knives out there when he bought the Blackout, and now he's looking at all these Sogs and looking into some more Kershaws and just a whole bunch of different knives for different purposes. So this knife pretty much caused him to get the knife bug that everyone out there watching this might have. So it's a great knife. My phone's ringing, so I'm going to take that as a sign that I should probably cut this video off. So Sog Twitch 2, highly recommend it. Alright, you have a good one, guys.